Hello and welcome to Bot Boundaries, where we explore what it means to be human in the age of AI. In this episode, we're getting into how increasingly users, especially Gen Z, want to build games and not just play them. And Roblox specifically is pushing heavily into AI-powered creation tools to lower the barrier to building where no coding experience is required. And today, I'm happy to be joined by my awesome co-host, Katie Wilson. Hey there, Katie.
Hey, good to be here. I'm really excited to dig into this topic as many of us with school age kids and even young adults are deep in the world of Roblox and hear about it all the time. So it's definitely a topic that hits close to home and sparks a lot of curiosity. And I'm looking to learn more about it too.
Yeah, definitely. I learned a lot when I explored this topic for sure. So let's dive in. A little background first. Gaming used to be pretty straightforward, right? You had developers, studios, teams of engineers building everything from scratch, coding characters, environments, mechanics. It was time intensive, still is, expensive, and honestly not very accessible unless you were inside the industry. Even I used to work with animators back in the day. They used to work with me on at my music video production company. We really did like heavy like CG and animation, which was really fun. And a lot of those animators worked in the gaming industry in LA. And so they were just great to work with, just amazing, talented, and worked so hard from concept art to a lot of 3D modeling to texturing those 3D models and all that fine work that, goes into the animation and getting that movement just right. And things have definitely changed since then, where some things are more automated today. And then now with AI, that workflow and model of the business itself appears to be shifting somewhat. So since AI is now attempting to be used as a creative partner in various industries, it's helping generate code, design environments, build characters, and even write dialogue. So instead of needing years of experience to build a game, you can now describe what you want, and AI helps you get there a little faster. Now, whether those results truly hold up, right, in a real environment, in a production-ready environment, is still an open question. Now, what's really interesting is this. Gaming may be becoming less about playing and more about creating, and AI is accelerating that shift. And if there's one platform where this is happening in real time, it's Roblox. Roblox has always been a little different from traditional gaming platforms. It's not just a place where people go to play games. It's a platform where users actually build the games themselves. So awesome. And that's why it's important in this AI conversation, because Roblox isn't just adopting AI. It's using AI to turn everyday users, including kids and teenagers, into creators. So let's break it down, what this actually means. Inside Roblox Studio, which is the tool used to build Roblox games, AI is starting to play a bigger and bigger role. Instead of writing every line of code manually, creators can now use AI to help generate scripts, build environments faster, create assets and objects, and even get help troubleshooting problems. So what used to take weeks or months can now happen in days or even hours. And that's a big deal, especially for younger creators who don't have a technical background. But here's where it gets even more interesting and maybe even more important. In April 2026, Roblox introduced a major update to its AI tooling, specifically around something called Roblox Assistant. This isn't just a small feature update. It's a shift on how AI actually works with their creators. So previously, a lot of the AI tools, whether it's in gaming or anywhere else, they work like this. You type in a prompt, then AI gives you a result. One step, input, then output. But as we all know, the problem with that is that AI doesn't always capture what you actually want. And if you've ever used AI before, which I'm sure most of you have, you've probably experienced that. You ask for one thing and it gives you something close, but not quite right. We talk about this problem with many LLMs on the podcast regularly, especially on the design and creative side. So Roblox recognized this problem and introduced something new called planning mode. And this is where things start to feel a little bit more like collaboration instead of automation. With planning mode, Roblox Assistant doesn't just give you an answer or an output, it works with you. It can analyze your game's code, understand your data model, ask you clarifying questions, help you think through your idea. And then instead of just outputting a result, it creates an action plan that you can review, edit, and refine. Kind of similar to Claude Designs,
Yeah, it sounds like what
new
we're talking about.
yeah, rollout that we reviewed in our last episode. So instead of AI replacing the creative process, it's now guiding the creative process, which is an approach I think is much more of a realistic approach, considering we all know the limitations of AI at this point. So you can start with an idea like, I want to build a racing game with power-ups and different environments. And instead of just generating random code, the AI will say something like, what kind of environments? How should the power-ups behave? Do you want multiplayer? How should scoring work, etc. And then it helps you build the structured plan from there. Again, this is very much like Claude Design, really, really similar, experience. So that's completely different experience than before. It's not just faster as the original intent of incorporating AI. It's now supposed to be more aligned with what the creator actually wants. And then once that plan is finalized, the AI helps implement it. So it's essentially guiding you through ideation, planning, refinement, execution. It's all in one workflow. I haven't tested it myself, so I can't vouch for these updates, but it sounds like it's the right direction of leveraging AI to produce better outputs, which is, really what we're seeing in 2026. It seems like we all really tested all these LLMs and incorporating AI, into existing software. And we understand the limitations. And now we understand that we really just have to pick and choose where we're placing it in our workflows and really looking at AI as a partner rather than just completely automating a task.
Awesome. Thanks for the rundown, Jackie. That's super interesting. And it helps explain like how you would see it in Roblox and how it would actually apply. But this is where things get really important, especially when we start talking about the users of Roblox, because they're generally young users. It has a massive audience of kids and teenagers. And now you're giving them tools that allow them to build games, use AI, and potentially even monetize what they create, which is amazing, but it also raises some real concerns and questions. So let's talk about safety, privacy, and what this really means for parents, as this is something I'm definitely nervous about as I think about Roblox. I'm always trying to educate my kids about like not chatting with people they don't know and the kinds of games they're playing, but it's really hard for parents. So let's think about, it's not just about the technology, but about how it's being used. So first, from a safety standpoint, Roblox already has built-in moderation systems, but when you add AI in the mix, there's new layers to think about. For example, what kind of content is being generated? Is it appropriate for the age of the user? Are kids relying too heavily on AI without really understanding what they're building or how
Love
to
that
build?
one.
Yeah. Are they sharing personal information while interacting with AI tools, right? What are they actually uploading? What are they saying to the AI? I'd also add like payment models in here as something of concern. Like I'm always concerned of apps of like, are they asking my kid for a credit card or for money? If I've saved my credit card, which I don't in any of these apps, can the kid purchase it without my permission, right? So I think the conversation really should be, should my child use AI or not? Because realistically, AI isn't going away. They're going to use AI in school or in other formats, and that's fine. Instead, a better question might be really, how can my child use AI safely and responsibly and in a way we're comfortable with as a family, right? And those comfort levels might differ from family to family or person to person. So here's a few practical guidelines as you're thinking about having these conversations. Keep creation visible. I think this one's really important, and similar with gameplay. Are they using AI inside Roblox? If they are doing that, it's helpful to have some visibility into what they're actually building. Not in a controlling way, but just being aware. I really think being curious about what your kids do. Like I'll often ask, what are you playing, Roblox? Show me the game you're doing. Oh, how does that work? Now that works well with really younger kids that want to show. I think it's harder when your kids get into the teen or preteen age where they're like, leave me alone. I don't want to talk about it. But let's encourage this like creation and visibility and like, oh, I'm really interested in what you've built. Will you show me?
Yeah, we do that with my daughter. I mean, she's now in high school, but she's been playing Roblox since, I don't know, third grade. But
Yeah.
she shows us everything she builds and she's really proud of it. So as a
Awesome.
parent, even though I'm a busy parent, it takes that, you have to take the effort to go sit with them when they want to
Yes.
show you something and always take up that opportunity and be interested and ask questions. And then they're
Yes.
likely to come back and want to show you more. And that's really cool.
Totally. Yeah. And we started this with Minecraft with I think that usually starts at a younger age with like, oh, show me what you built in Minecraft. I'm interested. Encouraging understanding, not just output. Like, I think this is a big one too. If we want to raise kids that are AI literate and computer literate in the future, is AI can generate things quickly, but it's important for them to understand what's being created, not just to accept it. So understand how it's creating, because it might create something that's not good. We talked about this with code design or Claude design. You want to go back and forth with it and iterate. Like, understand that AI is a conversation and iteration, and understanding how the basics of how code works can also help you understand how to edit AI and make better results. So it's a good entryway, but it doesn't replace the knowledge of actual coding or building. If your kid is showing an interest in that, perhaps then this is a good opportunity to say, oh, let's do a basics, coding class online or in person. So I think that's really, really important. Talking about privacy early, to me, this is the most important thing. Make sure they know not to ever share personal information, credit card information, financial information, not to input sensitive data into AI tools, that AI systems can store or process what they type. Also, I think this is like important to talk about like appropriateness of like what you're building too, right? I want to be able to look and see like the process. And using AI as a tool and not a shortcut is another important one, which we see, I think, especially with kids, like even not outside of Roblox, like using AI to get answers on homework versus fully understanding the concept. So the goal should always be learning and creativity, and using AI as a partner, not just like, oh, I can instantly create this game and I don't need to understand the concepts of it at all. So we want to make sure we're understanding, not just getting AI to solve a problem quickly for us. Because again, the output could be wrong. So you're taking a gamble there if you don't understand the parts. And lastly, setting boundaries around time and usage. We talked about this on our other episode around kids and technology, but I think, it's really important that we understand that this isn't an always on thing. AI can become addictive, and creative ideation like that can be really rewarding and a dopamine hit for kids. And it's easy to keep going without breaks. I mean, how many times have you been building something for your business, Jackie, or for a client, and are like, oh my gosh, it's this time, I haven't eaten yet, right? We do it all the time as adults even. So putting timers on your kids' devices for per app or per device, having specific hours by which you have 20 minutes to do this or 30-minute time. I also work with they can earn their technology time, like by doing reading or by homework or chores. So I think there's a give and take around this is not just always accessible, and it's not infinite time that you have on these apps or devices. So, that's a good one to keep in mind. And then, there's this bigger question of should kids be using AI to create games at all or create anything at all? In my opinion, it's yes, with guidance, because AI is not going away. It's going to be a part of how they work in the future. It's going to be a part of how they collaborate when they go to college. So, we don't want to shield them from not knowing that this technology exists, but I think there's a right way to do it. It's actually an incredible opportunity for kids to learn. They can think like creators. They can learn how to build systems. They can learn how to iterate on ideas and go back and forth with the AI and collaborate with technology. So I think those are great skills to learn. And I often think of it as being technologically literate and AI literate for kids. We want that, but we don't want it to be a replacement. So it's really that key balance, which we often come back to here on Bot Boundaries, which it should really enhance creativity, but not replace it.
I agree with all of that. I mean, so many great points for sure. So thank you, Katie, for that rundown. Great points for parents and community members. So if we had to sum all of this up, it would be this, gaming is evolving from something we consume into something we co-create. And platforms like Roblox are at the center of that shift, especially with AI tools like planning mode that turn creation into a collaborative process. But as these tools become more powerful, the responsibility grows too, especially when younger users are involved. And us as parents, we got to stay on top of it all. All right. So cool. Yeah, it is a lot, but we're doing it. That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's move on to our segment of things people won't say on LinkedIn. Some people might, but let's get started. All right. So first up on April 28th, 2026, First Lady Melania Trump and Queen Camilla hosted an educational event at the White House Tennis Pavilion focusing on children's well-being, technology, and US-UK history. The event featured students using AI-enabled glasses and VR headsets to explore cultural sites supporting quote unquote, fostering the future together, and literacy initiatives. So, as I mentioned, they're calling this fostering the future together, but we've got kids wandering around in VR headsets like tiny collision prone robots with zero awareness of each other, not much togetherness. So, is that really the future we want to model for our children? Katie.
Yeah, I saw this photos and the video from it, and it looks like something out of Ready Player One, super dystopian. Like kids are on this beautiful tennis court, but they're not playing tennis. They're having headsets on and they're not talking to each other. I think there's a better way to showcase like how kids use technology and fostering future together. They could have had, what a better photo op it would be for the First Lady and the Queen Camilla to be behind the children while they're coding or working on something, or even interacting like we were saying and talking with AI, but showing them collaborating in groups and building together, but using technology would have been, I think, a better use of this. And I think it really contrasts very strongly with what you see. King Charles and Queen Camilla visited New York, and one of their big press opportunities there was going to the New York Public Library, and you see them with like books and talking about the founding of America. And there's celebrities there like Sarah Jessica Parker and government officials, but like we're talking about literacy and reading, and that was really was the forefront of that event. And so if I were to grade this one, it would be definitely a D and the other one would be an A. I love libraries. I think there would have been a better photo op and a better opportunity to showcase technology in a realistic way.
Yeah, definitely. So I agree with you. Good take. I think that technology, just for the sake of technology, isn't a good learning experience. Just like everything you listed earlier in this episode, how we should approach technology, especially with our youth. We need to not miss the opportunities of getting them to think through problems and creating their own solutions, and using technology to support those solutions is really the future that we want for our children as mothers, for sure.
Yes. And from just a PR op standpoint, it looks weird. Don't do it.
It looks so weird. All right. Good.
Awesome. All right. Next up, everyone's probably heard about this if you follow technology this week. The OpenAI trial has begun, where, for a little background, Elon Musk helped launch OpenAI in 2015, contributing tens of millions of dollars to what was then a nonprofit focused on safe, open research. Now in 2026, he's suing to unwind the project, arguing that Sam Altman abandoned that mission by shifting it towards a profit-driven model, even as Musk operates his own for-profit AI company, XAI. So during the case, Musk acknowledged he did not read the fine print of the 2018 term sheet he received when stepping away from OpenAI's board, prompting the opposing lawyer to note that it was only 4 pages long. Do we think the tech world is facing a transparency problem when leaders criticize practices they also participate in? Jackie, what is your take of this OpenAI trial? Definitely something we'll be following closely.
Yes, there is a complete transparency problem in how leaders are talking about AI, their intentions with AI, and what AI can actually do, and where they're allocating their investments in these exploratory projects. And yeah, the leaders just need to be a little bit more responsible, and to be blaming each other for the direction another's AI company is going seems to be as though they want their AI company to take all of the success in this industry, and it's really just a play to get that other AI company to go down in the totem pole of success. So yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, agree. And I mean, I just love the quote about him not reading the fine print of a 4-page contract. Like, read your contracts, bro. Like, I read all my contracts and they're much longer than that. And I'm not on the OpenAI board, right? If it's something important to you, read it, or pay your lawyers, who that's their job, to read it and flag it for you.
His lawyers. I mean, come on.
But it's just like so dumb. And I think there's a lot of hypocrisy there, as well as like just very clear conflicts of interest, which I'm sure should come up in the trial of like, you're trying to shut down something where you also own an AI company.
Benefiting.
Yeah, there's a lot of conflicts there. I definitely think this will be an interesting trial, like both from a legal precedent, but also it's going to be highly quotable. And anything where Elon Musk is involved, will be getting lots of, I'm sure, hot takes.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, everybody's just trying to benefit from this era for sure. And it's pretty obvious to us. And so
Yes.
I don't know why they're pretending. Just be transparent
Yes,
about
just
it.
be
But
obvious.
just be straight up. Okay. All right. So to close off the conversation, I have one more. Starlink complaints. Users are increasingly complaining about Starlink for a mix of operational and support related issues. While the service is often praised for bringing high-speed internet to rural areas, frustration tends to center on inconsistent connectivity, outages, hardware problems, and especially poor customer support. Many users report long delays or no response at all when trying to resolve issues, with some saying support is largely handled through automated systems and ticket queues rather than real human interaction. So others point to sudden pricing or service changes, as well as downtime during outages, which can leave customers without internet for days while waiting for replacement equipment or responses. Even though Starlink ranks high in speed and innovation, overall customer satisfaction is lagging behind due to these service gaps. So the bigger question becomes, is full automation, even in customer support, the answer? Or is it going too far? And as companies scale, do we actually need to bring back a stronger human touch to improve performance and retain customers? Katie, what are your thoughts on this?
This is a good one. I think we've all had that frustrating experience when it's something important, whether it be healthcare or your internet goes completely out. You want to talk to a person. And I'm a strong believer in the hybrid, because I do think, and I've had really great experiences chatting with like what I know is a bot, but it points me to the right answer and I get it done real quick. I didn't need to be a human person. But then also have that option. I just did this with StubHub. I was selling a ticket and I was about to get on a plane and I was like, I need to figure this out. And I did the automated, and then they said, it looks like we can't help you. Let me connect you with a human. Great. Solve my problem in a second. And it was done. But it was all pre-qualified with the bot conversation. So I do think there has to be this escalation hierarchy. And I worked in customer support at Google. I helped do, a lot of these canned responses and hierarchies where it gets to a certain point and then a human gets involved. It's an escalation. So really, I think it's a hybrid approach is the solve. And yeah, we can't fully automate everything, especially when it's an important thing. And again, we're talking about an Elon Musk tinted thing with customer support issues. Weird. So
weird.
yeah, I think
Imagine
we really
that.
need to think about as users what we support with our money, right? And what the experience was like.
Yeah, really good answer there. I agree. Back in the day, chatbots, I hated them so much, but they've actually improved, I would
Gotten
say,
a
in the
lot
last
better.
year and a half.
Yes.
So they've gotten better. I definitely believe in a hybrid. I do really value and appreciate that now when they obviously can't answer my questions, they shoot me over to a customer
Yeah.
support or success human. So let's keep that going in that direction, because they really sucked like 2 years ago.
Totally.
They're awful. So yes. So hybrid approach, we're both agreeing on that. So as we wrap up today, we typically believe the goal isn't to avoid AI here at Bot Boundaries. It's to use it intentionally, because the future of gaming and across any other industry is going to belong to people who know how to work with AI, not just use it. And this is where that starts today, and it continues on. So good seeing you today, Katie. Just a reminder, where can everyone find you?
Yeah, you can find me on LinkedIn and Instagram at Serious Moonlight Consulting is my business, or at Katie Wilson on LinkedIn. You can find me there as well. How about you, Jackie?
Yeah, you can find me on LinkedIn at Jackie Gutierrez and on Instagram and TikTok at Business Growth Gal. And please follow Bot Boundaries at Bot Boundaries on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Thanks for listening today. Make sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. We're available on all platforms and also YouTube. Thanks, Katie.
Thanks. Great to see you.